Hey guys, today we're going to be creating a Zemu portable hard drive, and we're going to start with all of our files that we need here. Now there's going to be links for all these available, but we're going to need a clean C&E FATX Explorer. Our finished drive we'll get to in a little bit, our OG backup if we're bringing over a modded console's hard drive, Zemu files, and the OG XBOX installer, the newest version that came out just at the beginning of December, and of course Zemu. First thing we're going to start with is the FATX Explorer. We'll start this up. Give this a little bit to get booted. And to search for drives. And the first thing we're going to do is formatting tools. There we go. Now we want to create and format a file. And we're going to be doing an original Xbox HDD. And this is asking us, where do we want to build this virtual hard drive? You can build it on your hard drive, on your PC if you want. Just make sure you have enough space. Whatever size file you choose, it will be taking up that full size on your hard drive. Now, because we're going to be making this portable, I'm going to be putting this on my portable hard drive, which I already have labeled as the D drive, Zemu portable. We're just going to click on that. It's going to save the file as original Xbox HDD image. You can change this to anything you want, but for now, we're just going to leave it the way it is. And now it's asking us for what size hard drive. Now this is asking us in bytes. And I'm going to go ahead and do, since I'm on a 1 terabyte hard drive, I'm going to do 700 gigs. So I went ahead and used this website here just to do the math. So this is how many bytes we need. I'm just going to copy this, paste it in here. And there we go. That should give us 700 gig of space. All right, now we get to the BIOS selection. You can read through these if you like, but we're going to be using the LBA increasing BIOS partition table for this video. And there we go. And this is showing you what it's going to do. It's going to build several partitions. These are all the right sizes. We're going to click next. And now it's looking for the data partition E. Now we have two different options. If we're going to be building from an older Xbox, if you are wanting to make a clone of your modded Xbox, we're going to use that partition E. But for this video, I'm going to be using a clean C&E and starting from scratch. So we're going to go ahead and browse for this on the desktop under the Zemu project. And we have clean C&E here. We just need to point this at the E file, which there's just two folders in this, and select folder. There you go, perfect. Now we hit next. Again, it's going to show you what it's going to do and build all the partitions, and we're going to format. There you go, perfect. Now we have our virtual drive built with all the partitions that we need. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into devices, and we're going to load backup. If you have a hard drive from a modded Xbox and you connect it to your computer, it'll automatically find it and you can get in there from here. But since we have this in a virtual drive on a hard drive, we're going to load backup. And we just need to find the drive. So again, we're going to go back to D. And here is our virtual drive. We're going to open that, and there we go. Now it shows it's 700 gigabytes, so it's the perfect size for what we need. You can always make this bigger or smaller. Load device. And we're going to go in here, we're going to go into partition E, and we're going to mount this to X drive. It'll automatically pop up the window, and there we go. We have the two files that we need here. So we're going to exit this window, go back into devices. It has a check mark because one of our drives, one of our partitions is actually mounted. So we're going to click on this again, and it tells us that we already have a drive mounted. We're going to unmount, click on it again. And now we want to go into the C drive. All right, so C drive is empty. What we need to do is we need to go back into desktop. We need to go back into Zemu project, and we need to go to the clean C&E again. And now we're looking at the C. We're going to open up C. And these files right here just need to be dragged and dropped into the C drive on our hard drive. There we go. Now what we did is we just put the original files on here. So this is going to give us the original Xbox dashboard, which we can change later. But for now, we're going to be making a default. We're going to click out these, go back into devices, unmount the C drive, and now we're going to go in to our F drive, which is going to be at the very end. Now, F drive is all the additional space, and as you can see here, we have 692.55 gigabytes. This is where we're going to put all of our games. So we're going to click on this, mount this. All right, first thing we're going to do in this folder here is we're going to create a new folder called Games. There we go. And now we got to put a few games on here. So I have selected 3 of my favorites: Jet Set Radio Future, Outrun 2, and The Simpsons Hit and Run. We're going to go ahead and just drag and drop these into the hard drive and let it do its thing. This process, you can always FTP into this through Zemu. It's a little bit of a harder process. This right here takes all the guesswork out of it. It's very easy to use, and it's much quicker than FTPing. Now, this part of FATX Explorer is a pay to play part of the program, but I highly advise that you buy it. You get a 7-day trial, which is plenty of time to get this done. But if you're going to be coming back and building more or readjusting things or trying to add games, this is the quickest and easiest way, and I highly recommend you pay for the software. All right, we're going to give this a few minutes to add these games, and we'll be back. All right, games are installed, ready to go. Let's refresh this. There we go. All 3 games are on there, so we're going to close these windows out. Go back into FATX Explorer and Devices. We're going to unmount this drive, and that's it. We're done with creating the virtual drive. We're going to go ahead and close out on the software. All right, so the next thing we need to do is go into our Zemu project. We're going to run Zemu for the very first time. And there we go. We're going to get to this window right here. We do not need to do anything else. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and exit out of this. And what this did is this created a couple of files that we're going to need for the hard drive in your computer. So what we need to do is we need to navigate to C drive, users, whatever your username is on your computer. And then we're going to go into app data. Now make sure you have hidden folders and files turned on. That way you can find this folder. Otherwise this will be hidden. You won't be able to see it. Go into app data, roaming, and all the way here at the bottom is Zemu. We're going to click on this, and these 2 files right here, EEPROM and Zemu TOML, we need both of these. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag and drop both these files into our Zemu project. Now those have been moved. We're going to back out of this, and we can actually just delete this file because we're not going to need it since we're going to be running this off the hard drive and not our computer. We can delete that, get rid of that. Boom, there we go. We have the files that we need now in order to make our finished drive. So we're going to click into here, and I'm going to show you. I went ahead and put the Zemu TOML right next to the executable here, the application for Zemu. And then I created another file called Zemu Files. Now in here, we put the BIOS from the Zemu files that were in the Zemu project. Take us back to that folder again. So the Zemu files that we've downloaded earlier, we have BIOS. There's 2 BIOS in here. We're going to use the 103 for now, but we eventually are going to be using a custom BIOS, and I'll show you how to get that. Boot ROM image. You want to make sure that that's the correct one. There we go. And then the pre-built HDD. This is the one that they give you in the files. This is just a dummy 8 gigabyte hard drive that is used in order to utilize Zemu. But we're not going to be using that one because we created our own. And then EEPROM. The EEPROM is what we just took from that file. We want to make sure that goes in here. And then HDD image, we do not have it on here yet. Once we put all these files on the hard drive, we're going to put the new image that we put here. We created right in there. And then rescue folder. This is important. We want to make sure that the OG XBOX installer is in here. And then just in case, I also put in a handful of other BIOS, just in case we need to use those when we're on the road. So we're going to go back to our original files here. We'll close this out. There we go. So we want to make sure that the finished drive files that we just created right here are going to go on the hard drive. So we're going to go back into our D drive. and we're just going to drag and drop these files onto the hard drive. Now this may take a few minutes because there is 4+ gigs worth of the OG XBOX installer disk, but it is good to have on here, especially if you're on the road and something happens. You have everything you need to get Zemu running again without having to go home and put all new files back on your system again. So we'll give this a minute to do its thing. And there we go. All files are installed and ready to go. Now the image that we created, the hard drive here, we're going to go ahead and put it in the files. Open up files, and now we're going to drag this over to the HDD image. And there we go. Now our hard drive, a virtual drive, is in the proper file, ready to go. So now this is important. We are going to close all windows, and we're going to make sure we are in the portable drive. This is where we want to run Zemu. We do not want to run it from the Zemu project because that'll run it on our computer. We want to run it right off the hard drive. So we're going to go ahead and just double click on this. And we're back to this window again. Now we're going to utilize settings. And the first thing that comes up is this window here. We need to go ahead and point the program to these files that are on our hard drive. So we're going to click on the first one here. We want to make sure we are in our Zemu portable drive in the files here. And this is looking for the boot ROM. So we're going to go back to our files. We want to go into the boot ROM image and point it to here. Done. Now we go down to the flash ROM, which is our BIOS. We're going to go into the BIOS. Now I have this one on here yet. You probably will not. If you do, great. But we're going to, for right now, we're going to use the complex, the one that comes with the pre-built files. And then the hard disk, which is our new drive that we just built. Now here's the trick. When we get into HDD image, don't freak out. It is missing. It's not here. It's because Zemu is looking for the XCOW2 file. That is their standard hard drive file. We need to change this to all files, and there it goes. It pops up. Zemu will run off of a bin, and it doesn't have to be their XCOW or QCOW2 file. So we're going to go ahead and point it to this. That is our drive. And one more. Now the EEPROM. It may already have a direction of where it's looking for. This is because it ran off of the computer earlier. Well, we need to change this because that file is no longer there. So we're going to go back into EEPROM here, point it to this EEPROM. Good. Now just double check, verify that all your files are on the D drive or on your portable hard drive. There we go. We're good to go. So now what we need to do is we need to close this window out so we can restart it. Now we run it one more time. Success. So now we have properly built our hard drive and our files so we can load into the original Xbox dashboard. But we do not want to stick with this one. We like this on here, but we are going to put a custom dash on. So the next thing we need to do is go to Machine. We're going to load at disk. And now we got to go to our rescue folder. We need to point this to the OG Xbox installer disk. Click Open. And it should boot right into it. Now, if it doesn't, all you have to do is go down to Reset, and it'll reboot Zemu and then go right into this here. Another thing I recommend to do is go into Settings, and under General, skip the startup animation. It's always nice to have that for nostalgia purposes, but it just kind of slows everything down and takes a while, extra time for it to start. So we're just going to go ahead and click on that. We're just going to go right around that. All right. Now, as far as the OG Xbox installer disk goes, we are going to go to the first option here, which is launch with no BFM. That is very important. So we're going to click on this. And now I'm going to be using my Xbox 360 controller plugged into my computer to navigate these menus here. So first thing we need to do is we're going to go down to Install or Switch Dashboards. And we want to install Single Default Dashboard. From here, we're going to go all the way down to the bottom. We're looking for Xbox Media Center for Gamers, or X4G. And we're going to click on this, and it's going to go ahead and install. Now, this may take a few moments, so we'll let it do its thing. We'll be right back. And we're installed. Now, the first thing it's going to ask you is, do we want to make this our default dashboard? Yes, we do. So we're going to click yes. And this is going to build a shortcut so it goes directly to our new dashboard. All right, now before we do anything else, we need to back out to our main menu here. We need to go up to Live Applications. Now, earlier we were talking about the BIOS. Now, the BIOS that comes with the pre-built, we cannot use that. For some reason, that BIOS does not like this program, and it will hide your F drive where all your games are. So we need to come up with a better BIOS. Now, luckily, this disk has those, and I'm going to show you how to extract those. Now, we're going to go into Launch Xbox File Explorer UX. Okay, now that we're here, we're going to go down into the D drive, which is our OG Xbox installer. We're going to go down to BIOS, and in here we have all the BIOS that we're going to need. Plenty that we're never going to use, but the ones that we need are going to be in here. We're looking for a specific one now. It's going to be XBOX M8 480p. Now, what the 480p does is it goes ahead and it boots up all your games, everything at 480p minimum. So we don't have to worry about 480i or anything like that. When we're looking for a specific one, we need a DVD, a Yes DVD. We're also looking for it to be X4G, which stands for Xbox Media Center for Gamers. So what this is going to do is this BIOS is going to automatically look for the shortcut for Xbox Media Center for Gamers and take us directly to that dashboard. Now, this is the file we're looking for here, XBOX M8 480p, FG67 Yes DVD, X4G, and then this is the 1024 kilobytes. This is the 1 megabyte BIOS, which is what we need. If you use a smaller one, it will not recognize it and will have problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the right trigger. We're going to go to the right side, the right column here, and we're going to go down to the E drive. We're going to click on that. And this is the E drive here. What we're going to do is we're going to hit the left trigger. We're going to go back to this file here. And we're going to hit the left bumper. It's going to bring up another window. We're going to go down to copy. We're going to copy this. There we go, successfully copied. Now what we did is we just copied this BIOS that we need over to the E drive, and we're going to extract this in just a minute. So now that we're done with this, we're going to back out. We're going to use our mouse to go back up to machine. We're going to eject disk because we're done with this now. And then we're going to exit. Okay, so now we are going to minimize this window. We're going to go back into the Zemu project. We're going to go to the FAT Explorer. Load this up. Go into devices. We need to load our drive, which this is on portable. Make sure we're doing the portable one, and we're in the HDD image. Here's our image here. There it is. There's our file. We're going to load into the E drive. There we go. There is the BIOS that we need. So we are going to take this, and let's just put it in the Zemu project folder. Drag that right on over. There we go. You can delete it from here if you like. There's really no reason to keep it here anymore, so we're going to go ahead and delete this from here. There we go. Make sure you don't delete anything else. We're going to exit this. Go back into our Explorer here, devices. Now we're going to unmount this drive. Exit the program. All right, so we're going to open up the D drive. We're going to go into Files and BIOS. Okay, now I already have it here, but for the video, I'm going to show you. Now that we've saved it here, we would just take this and we drag and drop it in here. Okay. So this will be in our BIOS folder. We can keep complex here if we like, but we need to change this. Otherwise, it's not going to be able to find our F drive. And we want everything to boot up properly. So we're going to go ahead and close these out. Go back into our D drive. And we're going to run Zemu one more time. Now, it's still looking to go to the original Xbox dashboard because we haven't given it the BIOS that it needs to find the proper files. So we're going to go back into Settings, System. and we need to change our BIOS. It still shows complex, so we're going to click on this. And now we want to show it the Evox BIOS, our special BIOS here. We're going to click on that. Open. Now everything's ready to go. So we're going to exit this, and this time we should be all set. Start up one more time. You'll notice the Xbox logo is now blue because we're using a custom BIOS. And there we go. Now the initial boot may take a little bit longer because it is booting up for the first time. While we're doing this, while we're waiting for this to happen, we're going to go into View, and we're going to leave these the same for right now. But this down here, aspect ratio, we're going to change this to 16.9. So we are going to be in widescreen. All right, so the very first time we load into this program, we need to go to Manage Profiles. It's going to tell you it needs to do some calibration. So we're going to go ahead and let it do that. I set it up so there's just a little bit of blue. Sometimes you get overscanned depending on the game. There we go. And then we hit B for to back out of this area. And we're going to go down to Add Profile. For this video, we're just going to go ahead and call it Xbox. We're going to click OK to create this profile. And now we're going to click on it one more time and load profile. There we go. Now, if everything worked right, when we click on games, we should have our 3 games in here. And there we go. Our games are here, ready to go. The program is running fine. And now we can continue loading this hard drive up with as many games as possible. Now, because we are running this on a special dashboard and not through Zemu itself, we can actually use other files besides the XISOs. So we can have non-compressed folders in here running off the XBEs. It opens up more opportunities to do other things. Plus, you can actually put in homebrew, emulators, applications, whatever you want. So everything is easily accessible. We can click on a game. Just show you that everything works. Now, because it is running off of a hard drive and an emulator, sometimes the games can take up to 10-15 seconds to start. There you go. Now, if you ever want to get out of a game after playing, or you get stuck, or a game does not work, just click reset. Some of these games are really loud. And this will just go ahead and reset the emulator like you were restarting the Xbox, and should take us right back into our new dashboard. And there you have it. We have ourselves a Zemu portable hard drive that we can take on the road, plug into anybody's computer, and play games. Now, the same thing for the modded Xbox. If you wanted to do a clone of your Xbox you already have, you would just FTP or use the FATX Explorer device program in order to extract your C, E, and your F, possibly even your G drive, and then you would just go ahead and put those on the virtual drive that we just created, and then you'll have a cloned portable emulator of your actual modded Xbox. But that's it, guys. If you have any questions or concerns, please hit me up in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.